Hi person watching this video, welcome back to another video. I wanted to go ahead and just make this video really quick, so hopefully it goes out before the new year, and I wanted to get this out before the new year, and I'm just like looking at the date and we have like 3 days left, but hopefully I get this all done and edited by then, and maybe you are watching this in the new year, but I hope that all the goals that you set for yourself this year go well and that you maintain the motivation in order to go ahead and reach those goals that you've set for yourself. With that being said, let's get right into the topic of today's video. So, as y'all know, I just be like, again, I think I say this in like every video, but I just observe, things that that happen with people and society. And with this observation in this video that I'm talking about, I've noticed this social trend of self-exploitation. And it's a self-exploitation where we as individuals are always trying to sell ourselves to someone. And through selling ourselves, we can finally declare that we are finally valuable or a high valuable person. And maybe you've even noticed it, or maybe you've even caught yourself trying to in some way sell yourself. So in all types of societies and forms of government, there's always a form of exploitation that happens with the human being individual. And great nations historically have exploited groups of people and in turn made them into some sort of slave class. Go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong, but Karl Marx, I believe, often spoke about the exploitation of the worker or the working class by the bourgeois or the merchant/business class, and it's the worker's labor that is exploited, and the worker's value is reduced to what they can produce and how much can be produced. And eventually Marx's ideals and things like that ended up, manifesting itself into Marxism to counter this sort of like exploitative nature that exists in the capitalistic society that we have through the use of governmental intervention and policy. And while I can see this perspective, and I can see within this perspective, I don't think Marx really ever covered self-exploitation, where the individual does the work of exploiting themselves and thinking that it's all good and dandy. Again, if I'm missing something within Karl Marx's work, go ahead, leave a comment, let me know, because hey, more brains are better than just one. Within the context of self-exploitation, it's no longer the bourgeois class or the government system that does the exploiting explicitly. And I say they do not do this explicitly because they've become the quote-unquote invisible hand. And it's through enough social programming that the human being is given the perception that they are or have become an individual in control of themselves and that they are in control of their labor production. They've been programmed to believe that they are the sole owner of their labor and its fruits. And here is where I will go ahead and invite you all, who is possibly watching this, to take a peek behind the curtain with me, because there is just so much more to the story of exploitation and content creation with its relation to self-exploitation.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. The great boss has spoken.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
So in our current digital age, the internet has made it so that it seems we are able to become these big old entrepreneurs. And we've become the ultimate free market because of the internet. Right? Right? Wrong. I'm looking here on the good old internet and it looks like you decided to exploit yourself. Oh wait, sell yourself. Okay, and I'm looking here. Looks like you have a few different options that you can choose from. I think you should take a look at these. Here you go. Thank you so much. Yeah, let me check out these options that we got here. Honestly, I've been wanting to put myself out there some more, and on top of that, ever since the pandemic, I'm like, there's so many different ways to make money on the internet. You know, I don't have an excuse to not be on my grind, you feel me? Maybe I can do OnlyFans? Or maybe I could do YouTube? Yeah, I could do it. I'm not too sure about TikTok. Instagram? Nah, I don't think so. Twitch? Seems pretty cool. Maybe. Or maybe I can just sell my data to Google. Or, you know what, I could maybe even get a 9-to-5, but why? But hey, what is this? Here, let me just go ahead and take a look at that. You know, honestly, it's probably the ultimate way for you to exploit, sell yourself, because it has all the answers. And I'm not sure how it has all the answers, but it has them. And you don't have to do anything but give it a prompt. Or maybe just sync up your own personal data to it and it'll give you all the answers that you're looking for. Maybe even show you which way you should go in terms of which ways you could exploit yourself. Sell yourself. Okay, but let's be real. What is the catch to all of this? There's no way that it's just this easy, that I could just put myself out there on the internet and somehow make money. So I understand your hesitation, and I just want to make it clear and concise that by agreeing to the terms and conditions by using any one of these platforms, they get a cut of something from what you produce or consume. And, you know, it's that sweet, good old data. Maybe you'll make some money though. Maybe a few pennies, a few crumbs here and there. And they'll make some too off of what you do, while they don't really do anything, I suppose. Money, you say? Well, you know what? Sign me up for a possible bag. So, in all seriousness, y'all, the digital age has kind of made it that much easier for us to willfully exploit ourselves for money, while these internet/digital conglomerates are able to simultaneously exploit us. We see sexual exploitation through the sex industry. We see artistic exploitation through the entertainment industry, as well as this content creation industry. We also see skill exploitation through the labor industry. And there's many more in which we are being exploited. But hey, let's exploit ourselves, but let's make it content. But hey, at least we can possibly make money. But overall, it is human exploitation, and now it's us who decides how we want to exploit ourselves through these many means that are existing not only in the physical realm, but also in the digital plane that we are all ever connected to. And I guess we all have something to offer, but is it all worth offering it up for the made-up value of money that someone will throw at us? And this makes me propose the question, does it make the idea of exploitation that much better when we have the quote-unquote power to do it ourselves? And I honestly think it's all been disguised as quote-unquote empowerment, because now it's you who is making the decision to willfully exploit yourself. And y'all remember how I said, let's take a peek beyond the curtains? Well, beyond the hills in reality land, you're really not making the decision yourself. And honestly, when certain messaging gets put out where everyone is saying the same thing, for example, I've made X amount of money from selling crypto, or I'm a top earner from posting videos on OnlyFans, they're talking about idealized financial liberation through these very concentrated means on the internet. And it only makes you perceive that these may be the best ways of self-exploitation that will help you reach your dreams of financial freedom. And I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with how capitalism works, but if a market is too overly saturated, the less value that is worth in that realm. And in reality, you're just exploiting yourself with little financial freedom in return. And what do you really gain? I'll go ahead and tell you what you gain. Honestly, I think you really gain a loss of dignity and true value as an individual human being. Today's average social influencer will show you a path of self-exploitation and will sell you a dream of how to make it big and become someone of value through the internet, and sometimes even in real life. And instead of the business class telling you straight up to exploit yourself through your labor, or you are forced into exploitation from a real life form of slavery, it's your influencers telling you to exploit yourself, whether it be for them or for some imagined self-interest, which is really the interest of the invisible hand. But, I mean, hey, I'm also just someone on the internet who is just gonna tell you to subscribe. Hey, we all gotta exploit ourselves some way, and we have the choice to decide how.